that's different. And it's not just that, they do it for a reason. They've got the best shooter in the history of the game who has a motor on the offensive end that doesn't stop, but he stops and he changes direction and he reads. Defending Steph is the penultimate challenge. He's just so unique, and I could go on and on, and I don't think that's necessary. But that's one of the reasons they don't run pick and rolls is because sometimes it gives you an opportunity to blitz him, and he's so good moving without the ball, and he does the same thing. He puts pressure on you on the line, and then they get guys cutting and slipping to the rim, and they put pressure on the rim that way. So the three and the rim still become the two areas that you really have to focus on. They just get to those opportunities in a different way.
It's an interesting matchup in that they have Steph, who's arguably the best offensive player in the world, yet they're the best defensive team in the league. You have arguably the best defensive player in the year, but you're the best offensive team in the league. Is there something to the greatness of Steph and Rudy that they allow you to build on the other side of the ball?
Well, I don't think I have to qualify this by saying no disrespect to Steph or to Rudy, but Draymond Green is as unique a player and is having as good a year. I think, if you want to put someone in the MVP conversation, he's someone to me that's, again, it's maybe the numbers don't, look as, they don't match up to some of the numbers that some other guys put up. But as far as the way that he impacts the game, whether it's his passing, his defense, which, obviously know how we feel about Rudy's versatility and the things that he does. Draymond's like that. He just does it in his way. And then you add the leadership, that he shows and the way that he communicates. I just think he's an unbelievable player. And I think he's showing that this year. He showed it before, but it's so stands out so much right now when you watch them play.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Walden.
What makes their switching defense so good?
Well, we just talked about Draymond. That's part of it. But that's not to take away from any of the other guys in their team. I think they have length. It's obviously something, it's execution. And one execution, at the point of attack where they're able to get under guys, to neutralize that initial pick and roll. And then I think, once that's happened, their ability both to stay in front and to really shift and shrink the floor. It's one of the reasons they create as many turnovers as they do. They have big wings that are capable of guarding multiple positions. So their personnel and their execution make that scheme, really difficult to attack.
Andy Larson.
Quinn, Royce has had 6 games in a row with 5 points or fewer. Obviously, last night had 0 shots total. And I'm curious, are you on the side of, hey, we really appreciate your unselfishness in the starting lineup, or are you on the side of, hey, maybe you need to be a little bit more aggressive in those minutes?
Yeah, I think it has less to do with Royce's aggressiveness as it does with the ball finding him. I think there's some times when, we can find him when his man shifts off him. And then he's obviously, he's got to be ready to shoot, which I think he is. So I don't, when I look at the box score, I always, I'd like to see Royce. I'd like to see him, have 30 points. That would be great too, if he's efficient, which he always is. So, the great thing about him is he continues to do the things that help us win, regardless of his production offensively. But I do think that, the better we move the ball, the more opportunities he has to get shots. And that's something that we've got to continue to be aware of. Sometimes it's reflective of, of how our reads and things like that. But I also don't think it's something that, we need to obsess over. I don't think Royce is obsessing over it. Like I said, it doesn't affect his impact on the game. So as long as we're efficient offensively and we're efficient defensively, I think that, this group is fine with, whoever's taking the shots. If we're taking good shots and trying to move the ball. And, I think that's true of Royce as much as anyone.